Welcome, everyone, to a Thursday night edition of Down South Sports Fanatics. Let me introduce my co-hosts and my friends, my brothers, the truth himself. What's up, Mr. Pancho Gonzalez?
What's up, man? It's a hangover weekend, man. Mardi Gras and Super Bowl all in one weekend.
And, of course, the sound, the voice himself. What's up, Dave Robin?
Hey, what's going on, you sexy mofos? Hey, man, the Pels are riding high, brother. Pels going to the All-Star break on a high note. We'll be 11 games over 500. I'm just saying, you know, I want to talk about my boys for at least a minute. Man.
I want to say, Dave, you were right. Dave picked the Kansas City Chiefs through this whole thing.
Hey, bro. Hey. Look, man, I've been telling, man, I don't know, dude, that defense, I mean, you know, Mahomes is just freaking Mahomes, man. Reed, I mean, it don't matter, dude. They just got a great team. I mean, when you got a great defense, a great quarterback, you can run the ball a little bit. And imagine when this team goes and adds a receiver or two this offseason. You know, they're going to be tough to deal with. This is the new dynasty in the NFL. It's the new Patriots.
Pancho, do you think the Chiefs earned it, or did the 49ers give it away?
I mean, again, does Shanahan make this a habit now? You know, giving up the leads in the fourth quarter, you know, then, you know, going back to 28-3 days, you know, man, it was, to me, it was a really good game. People throw the conspiracy theories in there, you know, there's videos going from second down to first down, you know, just the stuff that's out there. I mean, the guys played the game, you know.
My cousin's all over that one.
Yeah, Brock Purdy did his thing, man. He did what he could do. Again, you're playing against Mahomes, and he knew that if he needed to score a touchdown in overtime. He said, no doubt, he knew that it was going to come down to that, and he was really upset that he couldn't do that.
Were you shocked that Shanahan didn't go for the first down instead of kicking a field goal?
I was shocked that they took the ball first.
I wasn't.
The problem is, Rich, if you go for it right there and you don't get it, you basically open up the door for Kansas City just to win with a field goal. I think you had to get the 3 if that was there. You know,
Dave, I'm only piggybacking off what Pancho just said is about they knew if they kick a field goal that Mahomes was going down and scoring a touchdown.
I mean, look, dude. I'll say this: San Francisco played their asses off. I mean, I don't really put anything on Shanahan. I think it's kind of shitty what happened with Steve Wilkes today. But I mean, overall, I thought their team. I thought both teams. You know, it was a little slow developing early on, but both teams played a really good football game. I don't look at any coaches losing or winning a game. I think both guys called a solid game plan. I think, you know, the best player in maybe all professional sports, or most impactful player, he just did what he does. You know what I'm saying?
Dave, would you say this? Would you say this is pretty accurate or somewhat iffy? Shanahan's a great offensive-minded coordinator, but a mediocre head coach.
Absolutely not. He's a top 5 or 6 coach in this league. Anybody that thinks otherwise, I got to question some things.
Dave, at what point do you go back to another Super Bowl and he loses it again that you make a change of their coach?
I mean, I think, look, Marv Levy was a great coach, and Marv Levy lost 3 or 4 of them. I mean,
4 in a row.
You know, yeah. I mean, nobody would call Marv Levy a mediocre coach. I mean,
but Dave, but Pancho, what I mean by that is, listen, 2 years apart, same head coach, different teams. The only thing same is the head coach, same result.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna leave you with this right here, and this is gonna answer all your questions.
Okay, go ahead.
How many championships did Andy Reid win in Philadelphia?
None.
How many championships has he been to? 4.
Okay.
And where's he as the coach right now?
Okay.
Where's
what's your point? So what's your point?
So you got to ride the
So what is it gonna take for Shanahan to get over that hump. Andy Reid did.
I mean, look, you were that close. I mean, you sent it into overtime against the team that's been the best team in the league the past 4 or 5 years.
So are you saying?
Are
you saying that these two teams meet again next year? Brock Purdy becomes Brock Purdy. All right. So you're saying Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than Mahomes next year?
No, but here's my thing. And you just mentioned a good name too, because Brock Purdy. I mean, what is Brock Purdy? 23 years old. I mean,
so what changes?
23.
Dave, you took this team because of Kansas City's defense and Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
so
but if that's the case, if that's the habit, every other team might as well give up because nobody's got a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you got him to overtime. Your opportunity was there. I mean, look, you talk about a missed extra point. You talk about McCaffrey fumbling deep in the red zone.
Yep.
You talk about the blundered punt thing with the muff. I mean, there was a lot of mistakes that were made. They could have easily won this ball game. I mean, you got to listen. Shanahan's not the problem. I mean, I don't agree with Steve Wilks being fired. You know, I like Wilks. I've said it 100 times that he should have been the Panthers head coach instead of going to Frank Reich, who they fired halfway through the season. But I don't like that call at all. But I do like that team as a whole, the structure of the organization. They'll be fine.
I don't think it's fair that you fire Steve Wilks because what discipline does Shanahan get? He's the play caller.
Shanahan is the head coach. So
I get that, but what discipline does he get?
He gets to hire a new defensive coordinator. It's his team, bro. Look at his record. Look at his record. You don't get rid of. Listen, if he got fired today, you know how many teams are jumping on the call tomorrow? Mike Tomlin is considered one of the greatest coaches in the NFL and won a Super Bowl. And there was rumors that he might get fired this year. Listen, Shanahan would probably get 28 calls from 28 other teams for a head coaching spot. We thought about the same thing with Belichick, but that didn't happen.
No, I mean, but Belichick's older though, Rich. I think the problem is Belichick's best days behind him as a head coach. I think the problem is that we always talk about you got to integrate with newer guys. And
Mike Tomlin leaves Pittsburgh tomorrow. He don't get a head coaching job. Does that sound good?
Oh, absolutely does.
No, he don't.
Why?
There's not a spot.
Because you said age has everything to do with it.
No, but Mike Tomlin's not as old as Bill Belichick.
He's sick. Mike Tomlin's sick, almost 60.
But Mike Tomlin, listen, here's the thing. Mike Tomlin's had this model of consistency for years. Belichick after Brady hasn't been the same. You know, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he hasn't had the same level of success. Tomlin's done it with more, you know, I mean, he's had shit at quarterback the past couple of years. He's had running back that underachieved, all kinds of change of pieces, you know, all around that roster. But he's always consistently winning. You know what I'm saying? So Tomlin, the fact that he's younger and I think he's more relatable for a lot of guys, I mean, it is what it is. I guess what I'm trying to say is, Pancho, and I hear what you're saying.
How long do you think, if this continues on for the next 2 years with Shanahan losing in the Super Bowl, do you think? I'm sorry, I think they make a change.
I'm gonna make a real quick point. Would you take Shanahan or you would take Dennis Allen right now? Would you take?
I'm not saying that's terrible if you compare them two.
But Rich, Richie, we're jumping the gun. Really, we're talking 2 more Super Bowls and 2 more losses.
No, we're not. No, Dave. There you go, Dave, dancing around it again.
But but Richie, you're too hypothetical.
What has Shanahan? Shanahan is doing
6 interceptions in the first 4 games.
Shanahan is known for blowing games than good things. That's fact.
Yeah, but why? But what games has he blown, Rich? He's lost 2.
28-3 was on his.
He wasn't the head coach of that team.
He was the offensive coordinator. Should have ran the ball more.
Oh, come on, Rich. Man, dude, your defense caved in. I mean, Tom Brady.
Oh, you blame it? So they should have ran the ball more.
Absolutely. Dan Quinn's a terrible head coach, and he's going to be a fucking disaster where he's headed now. I'll tell you, Dan Quinn is not a head coach. You talk about a guy who's a good coordinator, not a good head coach. Dan Quinn is the definition of that. Kyle Shanahan's one of the top 5 or 6 head coaches in the league.
Not only do you have one terrible head coach in Washington, you got Anthony Lynn, which was another terrible head coach, following suit to go on the same staff as Dan Quinn. I mean, you're going to talk about we want to talk about boring football? Man, what you seen this year, you might not see. God,
Washington. Hey, you better hope Jane Daniels don't go there. A lot of LSU fans will be a little grumpy, man, with that. I think there's some good weapons there, but I think
so. Shawnee said, "Would you take Shanahan over
I'm
Dallas coach?
Over who?
Over the Dallas coach."
Yeah, McCarthy, absolutely.
I'm taking Shanahan over.
Okay, but that's not fair because McCarthy's got a Super Bowl.
No, I'm not worried about that.
Rodgers too.
Why are you not worried about that? That's a big deal.
No, but
you know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl?
Well, Richard, I'm not saying ever. Look, Gary Kubiak won a Super Bowl. That's no offense to our new OC, that's his dad. But I mean, Gary Kubiak.
Why don't y'all put into how much? Why don't y'all put the difficulty in winning a Super Bowl? How hard it is?
Richie, listen to me. Brock Purdy. Mike Shanahan took Brock Purdy, Mr. 270 whatever is the relevant in the draft to the Super Bowl. What, twice?
Mm-hmm.
So, come on, bro.
I'm not. But dude, once again,
Purdy.
I get what you're saying. But that Pancho, here we go. Here we go with the standard at quarterback. You know where mine's at. So what are you talking about here?
Well, wait, but why are we talking about Brock Purdy like he's a bad quarterback? Brock Purdy.
Nobody. Just because you talk about a quarterback, don't mean he's bad. But I have a standard at quarterback. Dave, I have a standard at quarterback, and that's not changing. That's it.
Wait, say it again.
I have a standard at quarterback, and that's not changing.
Well, listen, but here's the problem.
That's how I'm judging all 31 other quarterbacks.
But yeah, the biggest problem is that guy in Kansas City. He's the new Brady. I mean, that's the reason why Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers had one ring. Guys like Tom Brady was there all the time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? How many rings? Come on.
If you ask me personally, Brock Purdy played a better game from front to back than Mahomes.
Oh my God! What? Yes.
Now Mahomes shined at the right moment, but as far as
that's what champions do.
They shined but Brock Purdy was consistent throughout the whole game. Like
I disagree. He missed a lot of throws, Pancho. I think Brock Purdy had a good game. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that. But I think in key moments, like you just said, Brock Purdy missed a lot of key throws. He missed the wide. He missed the wide.
He played good enough to win.
He missed. This is the difference right here. He missed a wide open Ayuk in the back of that end zone.
Wait. What play are we talking about there?
When he threw it out.
That was Ayuk's mistake. Ayuk ran the wrong route right there.
No. I'm talking about the last. Listen to me. I'm talking about the play before the field goal when Chris Jones was bearing down on him and he overthrew.
You talking about overtime?
Yes. He had Ayuk in the back of the end zone. He had Ayuk in the back of the end zone. He threw the ball.
Look, Richie, here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to say, and this is what gets me crazy because I always get back to, the Jameis Winston thing. I had to hear so much crap about Jameis Winston, but you want to talk about a guy that leaves receivers on the field every play. I mean, listen, dude, Drew Brees will miss an open receiver. Tom Brady will miss an open receiver. As far as missing him, not seeing him, I mean, when you got pressure, it's a big moment. There's sometimes that receiver that's scooting out there open and you don't catch it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the bad quarterbacks in the league do that consistently, but even the great quarterbacks will miss a couple guys like that every week. You know what I mean? It's nobody hits on all.
Unfortunately, and I think Brock Purdy had a good game, but unfortunately, I think the 49ers got lucky to be in the Super Bowl.
Ricky, I think they've been the best team in the NFC, hands down.
Not in the playoffs. Not in the playoffs.
No, but Richie, they beat everybody. How are they not? I mean,
because like you just said about missing. I'm sorry, Pancho, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. And what you said, Dave, about missing throws. I think Jordan Love missed a couple of key throws against the 49ers because I think Green Bay was the better team that day.
I mean, look, man, I don't know. I think there was a lot of close playoff games. I mean, I don't think Detroit was quite ready. I don't think Green Bay was quite ready.
49ers didn't impress me.
Path, like we said, but they were the best team in the NFC, clearly.
Go ahead, Pancho.
Well, this is what I'm going to show you right here. So,
what's up,
one thing Brock Purdy is going to give you consistency, and that's all you can ask for in a good consistency, right?
Yep.
So here's his last 5 games: 255, 230, 252, 267, 255 for the Super Bowl. So you getting 250. And his touchdowns are 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you're getting that with basically he got one interception that one game. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get consistent play out of Purdy. He didn't, for the spot that he was in, he shined for the spot that he was in more than normal. He gave you what you wanted and what you needed. And again, it was just a really good game. I don't think there was a script to this game. I didn't see a script at all.
I don't think Shanahan put Brock Purdy in some good positions to make big plays. They could have run the ball a lot more.
Well, look, but y'all, we're talking all this, and they take this game in overtime and lose the way they did. I mean, it's not like they were just unprepped. It's not like they didn't match up to these guys. I mean,
all right, Dave, you don't put a little. Let me ask you this, and this is a fact. you saying that Shanahan's a top 5 coach, right?
I'd say he's definitely in that
Why
range,
didn't your top 5 coach prep your team for the overtime rules?
Wait. Say it again now.
His team publicly came out and said they didn't know the new overtime rules.
I think a lot of teams are kind of.
A lot of people didn't know.
All right. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes said. Patrick Mahomes said Andy Reid. Listen to me. Patrick Mahomes said Andy Reid. He got tired of hearing about the overtime rules. It was over and over and over. Well, there you go.
I mean, look, I don't think that decided anything in the game, though. I mean, I think
Dave, why do you do this? You do this every time. I just can't.
I think that's a crazy. I don't think that had anything to do with the game.
Why can't you just say the man didn't prepare? Why couldn't you? Why can't you just say the man could have prepared his team better?
So if there's 53
there's nothing wrong in saying that. Say something wrong with somebody. I don't know why you don't do that.
There's 53 guys on that roster that lined up on the Super Bowl for the 49ers. 53 guys that dressed. I guarantee you, if there was a few guys that know the rules, I would say it's probably less than 10, and that wouldn't decide a football game. Brock Purdy knew those damn rules. Christian McCaffrey knew those damn rules.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. Those damn rules. They said they did not.
Listen, I don't know.
They said publicly out of their own mouth. They said publicly. There wasn't a rumor. You can go on YouTube and you look it up. They said out of their own mouth they did not know the new rules.
I would have to look at that. But I still don't think it decided the game. I don't buy it, but I don't think it decided the game.
So you don't think it's a head coaching job to prep your team for all this?
I'm not going to respond until I see it. I haven't seen that. I'm not going on.
Okay, Pancho, reply to it. Well, did several 49ers players say that?
I mean, you can sit there and dig at scratch.
Oh my God! Why can't you answer the question?
But Richie, what players did they identify?
Pancho, you always look up stats. You always Google stuff. Did 49ers players say they did not know the new overtime rules? Yes or no?
I didn't. No, I personally didn't watch that clips. No, I didn't.
I've never seen that.
All right, Patty, can you bring that up? Patty, can you bring that up?
It's not even an argument. So what?
It absolutely is.
It didn't decide the game. It didn't decide the game.
It 100% decided the game.
On each roster that doesn't know what an eligible receiver downfield means. It doesn't matter. It's deciding the game. That's why the coaches are in place.
It don't decide the game, so you don't know if you want to take the ball or not.
Richie, that's why the players are players. God. Coaches are running the show. Trust me, every one of those players knows where they're supposed to be each given play. If they don't belong in the NFL. The coaches are orchestrating the game. The players are making plays.
So you're telling me Dave, you of all people said how important coaching is.
It is. I mean, but what?
So did Andy Reid out-coach Shanahan? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. No.
So it didn't come down to coaching.
No, nope, not at all.
What it came down to then?
It came to Patrick Mahomes made. You can go back to like so many throws. I mean, I could break down one right now, but I'm saying the guy's under pressure. He knows exactly where to be.
So you're not giving Andy Reid credit. So you're not giving Andy Reid credit for being the better coach.
Andy Reid, I think he's a great coach. I think these are the top 5 coaches in the league right there. But I'm saying
you don't think Andy Reid's better than Kyle Shanahan?
The Chiefs were a little bit better.
Kyle Shanahan don't belong on the same planet as Andy Reid in coaching.
That's crazy. But here's my thing.
How is it crazy?
Because they didn't lose the game because they had a poor game plan. Richie, statistically, they were right there in the game. The game was in overtime.
Man.
The game was in overtime.
But go ahead, listen.
School and how prepped these teams are and how prepared they are for every possible scenario. If they score a touchdown, does the entire sideline spread onto the field?
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Would have been fantastic.
That's what it feels like it was going to happen if that were to happen.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to think that there is a chance that we could have witnessed some history, which would have been the San Francisco 49ers charging the field after not winning the game. McCole Hardman, to his credit, did not know that they won the Super Bowl either. Patrick Mahomes told a story afterwards in one of the post-game. It was wild post-game, trying to bounce from NFL Network to ESPN. CBS put on some terrible TV show immediately afterwards, and then they were still doing a show, though.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea how all of that goes. But like trying to find the clips and whatever, Patrick Mahomes told a story about McCole Hardman didn't even. This is Patrick Mahomes here. Actually, this is what's that? No, I don't need the overtime rules. Patrick Mahomes told McCole Hardman that basically, hey, you just won the Super Bowl. He had to tell him after he threw the touchdown to him. McCole said, I blacked out. I had no idea. What a moment for the Kansas City Chiefs. What a.
That's a Kansas City Chiefs player that knows. Yeah.
That's Richie Backways. That was a Chiefs player.
No, it was not. He said no. McCole Hardman blacked out. McCole Hardman blacked out. He blacked out.
He said he didn't know the rules.
Because no, he did not. He said he blacked out. He did not say that. He said he blacked out.
He just said it.
He did not. He was talking about the 49ers players storming the field.
It's not a subject.
No,
it is a subject because they were saying, "Listen to
really not, dude.
You know
Rich,
what? I'm about to end this because y'all don't. Because I watched it and you didn't. Sorry,
Richie, he just said McCall Hardman. Patrick Mahomes said McCall
You're
Hardman.
not
didn't know that
listening,
they won the
Dave.
Super Bowl.
He said the 49ers are ready to storm the field if they would have scored in overtime. That's what he said.
Generally.
Whoa, Richie, didn't they kick the field goal?
You're not listening once again. He said players on that sideline when he threw the ball, if they would have caught it, were ready to storm the field in victory. Because they thought the 49ers players thought they would win the game with a touchdown.
The first drive.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was guys on both sides, Richie. I mean, look, I don't think that decided. That had nothing to do with the football game. The football game that came down to one simple thing. Kansas City made fewer mistakes.
Wait. You said what?
That Kansas City made fewer mistakes in this game. Okay. San Francisco, remember we were talking about special teams. Poncho was
Andy Reid said they had already prepped for overtime and they were going for 2 anyway, which way possible.
But I don't, Richie. Okay, so here's my thing. If Brock Purdy scores a touchdown, all this is like, in Kansas City, they get one stop against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Dave, why is it so impossible for you to believe one team was prepared and one team
It's not about believing. I don't think it matters what I believe. I don't think it matters at all. I mean, if I'm wrong, you tell me. If the commenters think, hey, that's all cool. My opinion is I think it has nothing to do with anything.
It's a Super Bowl.
That's right.
Dan, were you surprised afterwards to hear the difference between the Chiefs, how dialed in they were to hold the overtime situation and what their plan was compared to the Niners and the players, some of them not really exactly knowing, obviously, what their plan was and even knowing what the overtime rules were in the playoffs?
Oh, really? Really?
I'm shocked. Number one, their head coach has, been in the only overtime in Super Bowl history, obviously Kyle with the Falcons and the Patriots. So the fact that he experienced it too, the rule changed like 2 years ago. And I think everybody that is a fan of the NFL or plays in the NFL knows why that rule got changed in regards to Patrick and Josh Allen and whatnot. So, I'm kind of shocked, or Brady, I'm kind of shocked that those guys don't know like the at least some capacity of the rule. And I was talking to Jeff Saturday because obviously Jeff coached in the NFL last year for a brief period of time. I was like, don't you think that's something where, when that rule change happens, you guys know these meetings sometimes throughout the season, team meetings become so
there you go.
And you try to find ways to have
there
meetings.
You go, because he didn't name drop. He said
yes, he did. He said Kyle Shanahan. He sure did.
So
he didn't name drop. He said Kyle Shanahan.
But Richie, here's my thing. This is like the most. These are dumbasses.
Dave,
on this
listen to what this stemmed from.
It's not a story.
Put the story in context. Players were asked when Shanahan took the ball first. Players were asked after the game, what went into y'all taking the ball first? And several 49ers players said after the interview, we didn't realize of the rule change in overtime. We were not prepped for that from our head coach. That's exactly the words that came out of their mouth.
You find me that soundbite instead of these two jackoffs
He
talking
just
about
said it. He just said it.
No, I want to hear a player say that.
They did say that.
No, I don't want to hear these dudes through hearsay and all this stuff.
One of them said it was Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback.
I highly doubt that.
Listen, guys. Ricky, did Kyle Shanahan run the ball?
When?
No, he didn't run the ball. Did Kyle Shanahan throw the ball? No, he did not throw the ball. Did Kyle Shanahan go out there and tackle anybody? No, he did not.
The comments are coming in because everybody just says y'all wrong, and they agree with me. The rule change definitely messed them up. There you go.
Decide the game. How did it decide the game? Give me one good reason how it decided the game.
Because with the new rule change, you never take the ball first.
Why?
It's never happened before.
Because the other team gets the ball back.
Super Bowl, man. How do you say never? It's the first time ever. You can't say never.
Richie, and that's what I'm saying.
The rule changed 2 years ago. The rule changed 2 years ago, Pancho.
Richie, but you also believe those players are making a call there?
I get it.
It's how you say never. It just happened. It's how something never happened.
You don't because you're not supposed to take the ball first.
Well, Richie, that's a coaching call right there. That's a coaching call.
And it was a wrong call. It was a wrong call.
No, I mean, but okay, so if they score a touchdown, would have been the right call.
To what?
If they scored a touchdown instead of a field goal, would have been the right call then, right?
So the right call. So you tell me. So let me hear that right. So the right call is to give Patrick Mahomes the ball last, correct?
Listen, Rick, man.
I'm just asking your opinion. I'm asking your opinion. I'm asking you. Is the right call? Is the right answer to give the ball Patrick Mahomes last? Because the viewer just said that's crazy.
Well, I mean, Richie, you're going to give him the ball first or last. It don't matter. You still got to
At
make
least
one
if you
stop,
give it to
make
him
one score. It doesn't matter who gets it first. If you
So
got
you give him the
confidence
ball
in your
last.
quarterback to go drive downfield, absolutely you give him the ball last. I mean, I understand. Listen, and it's a Tony Romo thing. Okay, I think this is what you're trying to get at. So the team that knows what they have to do going for it on fourth down, I understand that thing. But like you said, it is still new. Like Voncher said, this has been in existence for 2 years. I don't think we crucify Shanahan on that. They lost this game because they ran into Mahomes. He became Michael Jordan of football, what he does. They made too many damn mistakes. The McCaffrey fumble, the muff punt, the missed extra point. If your boy makes the extra point, the game's over. We're talking about one fucking kick, and he could have made it and ended the game. They made too many damn mistakes.
All I'm hearing is ifs. All I'm hearing is ifs.
No, Richie, there's no ifs. The guy fumbled. He muffed a punt.
Turnovers are part of the game, correct?
No, Richie, it's not a part of the game. No, if you turn the ball over, you usually lose.
Pacheco turned the ball over inside the 10-yard line. They could have went and scored a touchdown.
Wait, say it? What now?
Pacheco's turned the ball over inside the 10-yard line.
So did McCaffrey. McCaffrey did the same thing. But they had more mistakes. So
that's a wash. So that's a wash. Mahomes threw an interception.
They had more mistakes.
Mahomes threw an interception. Mahomes threw an interception. Right after halftime.
Well, guess what? Greenlaw went off too. Greenlaw got hurt.
I mean that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
You missed extra point though, Richie. 1 point could have decided the game. 1 point was the difference between overtime.
Y'all really are not on y'all game today, dude. Really.
No, but Richie, am I lying though? You miss an extra point. That's an opening to lose a game. That's you're inviting a loss to come in there.
So we got two guys. You got one guy. But we off our game. Come on, bro. I'm having fun looking.
I'm having fun looking at the comments. I'm looking
Richie,
at the comments.
if you miss extra points, if you give teams extra, shots at something, if you muff a punt deep in your own territory, where was the Mahomes interception at? It wasn't
correction.
Your
viewers are correcting you. It wasn't a muff pump. It hit a 49ers player. It was not a muff pump.
Well, you know what I'm talking. I mean, God, are we getting that freaking
not a muff punt. It's not a muff punt.
I mean, come on, stop being silly, folks. Listen, okay, where was the punt at? Where was the punt? The hit player punt. It was at the 25, 30-yard line. So Mahomes made one throw.
So let me get this right, Dave. Let me get this right. You're saying
you set them up on the doorstep.
You're saying the 49ers lost because of a muff punt.
5 touchdowns that game with 140 yards. He was on the doorstep a lot.
So you're saying the 49ers lost because of the muff punt.
No, listen.
That was
the
a big
49ers,
factor. Absolutely. It was a huge factor.
The 49ers lost because the Chiefs scored more points. Point blank. There's no ifs. I mean, that's what it is. The Chiefs scored more points. That's why they lost.
And look, here's my thing. At the moment of that game, go look, okay, whatever you want to call the punt debacle. At that moment in time, San Francisco's defense was playing pretty well. But what you did is there was a total mental breakdown.
The game's over. I mean, come on.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Well, you make the extra point. There's a lot of ways you could have won this game. I don't think Shanahan lost the game. You had a missed extra point, a horrible punt situation that you set Mahomes on the doorstep of the end zone.
Richie,
you know what I mean? McCaffrey, a fumble. I know Pacheco did it, but I don't mean McCaffrey has to,
What you seen was a situation of events that happened to fall a certain way, and it was no conspiracy. You get a momentum, and things fall that way. It's not because you did something wrong or right. It's just something. The ball hit the dude's foot. The dude was putting on a block. It's a turn. If that turnover doesn't happen, the game's over.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest swinging points of the game right there. Their defense was playing really well. It was a situational
play that happened. It was nothing that was going. It was nothing that anybody did wrong. The ball just landed at the wrong spot.
Why don't y'all? But here's my thing. I don't think y'all putting enough blame on Shanahan. I don't think.
What is he? But Richard, give me 3 reasons why Shanahan's to blame, not counting the overtime rule.
Because Shanahan has been responsible for a double-digit lead in 3 Super Bowls. 3.
Why we keep putting him responsible and not Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn's the head coach. He's responsible for that Falcons blood.
Okay, 2 Super Bowls. 2. That's good. We're gonna go 2.
I don't really see a meltdown in this game. It's not like they were up 20 points, Richie, and they lost.
Andy Reid, like you said, Andy Reid lost 4 NFC championships in a row. So you crucify him then?
No.
Look, Marv
Andy Reid got over the hump
with the Bills so many times.
Like I said, Andy Reid
got over the hump, Pancho.
But give Shanahan time, Richie. I mean,
Hey,
you know,
he's in the league for what, 4 years?
I tell you what, I'll give you a perfect answer for Shanahan. He'll
Give me his record.
he'll start winning Super Bowls when Patrick Mahomes retires. There you go. Now, good enough.
That's anybody. You can say that about
I mean, but Richie, that's the case, and everybody else, all 31 of the teams might as well just give up, right?
I mean, come on.
Dave, you picked them. You picked them, Dave. You picked them. I didn't.
I did. I mean, because I saw they had the best defense. I like the running game with Pacheco, and I think Mahomes will make Kelsey and Rashee Rice work, and somebody occasionally else would, somebody else would step up on occasion. But no, look, dude, here's my thing, though, man. I agree with Pancho that punt play was a big swing point. But I mean, dude, man, I think Shanahan put Purdy in good situations. I think the defensive calls were fine. Listen, it wasn't a bunch of blown coverages. It wasn't a lot of big mistakes. And I mean, I know we talked about
the punt play happened in the middle of the punt play happened.
Why are we forgiving McCaffrey, a bona fide MVP candidate? Look, Pacheco, I like Pacheco, but they're two different players. Let's be real. And McCaffrey's the best running back in the league. Pacheco might be a top 12 to 15 running back. So, I mean, just because Pacheco fumbled, we giving McCaffrey free range. Oh, well, shit. Pacheco fumbled, so it's all good. McCaffrey fumbled, it cancels itself out. But that's not true. If McCaffrey scores a touchdown there and doesn't fumble, man, that changes the whole narrative of that game. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you had a chance to really make a statement early, and that was a massive blunder. For McCaffrey, as great of a player as he is, to fumble at that point in the field.
All right, I'm gonna tell you how I lost. It's just my opinion. I don't think Shanahan will ever win the Super Bowl.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something even more shocking. I think Jim Harbaugh will win the Super Bowl before Shanahan.
I don't. Look, dude, a lot of things have to happen there.
Yeah, Richie, we're not hard.
It's too hypothetical, man.
You're not hardest to win the Super Bowl, bro. You just don't trip and fall into the
No.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Again, just to sit here and just drop names. I mean, you can drop 30 other names.
We're not dropping names. I'm just talking about a guy that went to two Super Bowls and lost them.
He's doing better than 30 other teams.
Yeah, Richie, look how many coaching changes we've had. It's awesome. Guys that had to be canned.
Ricky, Mike Tomlin, Dennis Allen, Stefanski, all the way down would wish they were in that Super Bowl Sunday.
So Sean McVay, who was under Shanahan, won a Super Bowl before him.
Right.
That's all fun and dandy.
Yeah, look who he played though, Richie. He didn't play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
He played. It's in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Oh, come on. But I mean, Mahomes didn't get there that year. That's what I'm saying. So you had a little. I mean, look. I don't think the result would have been any different if Mahomes would have made it.
You know what's crazy?
That's a bold statement, though. I mean, Joe Burrow was what? Year 2, 3, whatever it was.
Listen. I mean, you know what's crazy? Do you think the Cleveland Browns coach should have won Coach of the Year?
I would have went with D'Amico. I would have went D'Amico Ryan. That's just me.
I'll say this. This is why I like Cleveland's situation. I mean, I could go. I'm with Richie on that. I could have went D'Amico, but Cleveland's coach, Stefanski, right? So I mean, yeah. Deshaun Watson has been a fucking disaster. People had the nerve to complain about Derek Carr here. Deshaun Watson's been a fucking nightmare. He cost him tons of draft picks. He's got the biggest contract in football, and he's been terrible and injury prone. So, I mean, the fact that he got that team, and then Nick Chubb, one of the best backs in the league, tears up his knee early in the season. So what he did without Chubb and without Watson, I know they had a good defense, but, man, it's hard to deny him, to not give him that vote. But D'Amico Ryan's absolutely I could have flipped a coin probably for D'Amico. Listen,
I want to say thank you to Shawnee, Donald, Nola, all them guys, Lance. They're all joining in, chiming in, man. Thank y'all for y'all comments. Donald agree with us. He thinks D'Amico Ryan should have won a Coach of the Year.
Real fast. While y'all halfway through the show, I want to do this early. Next week, try to let everybody know we're moving to YouTube. It's going to be recorded shows. I'm going to post a link. Everybody who's listening, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're moving to YouTube. We'll post the link up on Facebook, but the live shows will only be on Facebook Live from now on. But all our shows are going to be pre-recorded, subject oriented.
We won't be on live still, though. There'll still be live Facebooks. So,
but the main show is going to be
weekly live. We're gonna do one show. We're gonna do one live show a month, during the off season of football.
One
Once
big
football
live
season
show.
kicks off, once football
Yeah.
season kicks off, we're going to start it weekly again.
But we got one big live show, and me, Richie and Dave, or Richie and Darren, or me and Darren, we'll pop in, maybe after a Pels game or a big win or a big move. So
Yeah.
we'll still be interactive very much.
Yeah, we know.
Now.
Yeah, we know. Look, this is look. I know people are gonna be upset because y'all not gonna be.
Shorty said, "Boom!"
No, the biggest favor, everybody. If everybody listening now wants to help this channel become something big, everybody, even all the fans listening, help this channel out. We can't grow no more on Facebook. They gotta start moving to something bigger. Help out. Go subscribe.
I like the live shows better. You started something, Fatty.
Yeah, I mean,
Get it started.
everybody because you can interact, but we got to start growing. Help. Everybody can help.
We are still going to do live. Listen, what Fatty is saying. What Fatty, listen. Let me explain it. Let me explain it in detail. What Fatty is saying. We are still doing a live show once a month on Facebook. It will still be there, but we are gearing towards YouTube for our pre-recorded shows. That you still can go comment on there. We just won't get it live.
We're trying to go to a worldwide audience now.
Yes, we're trying to take y'all with us, man.
and we want everybody. I mean, everybody listening. You go subscribe to the channel. I posted the link in the channel already twice. I'll post it up on the screen.
See, even he says we can do YouTube live. He said we can do YouTube. We can do YouTube live. I didn't know that.
Yeah, y'all are on YouTube right now live.
We're on YouTube live, buddy.
Yeah, we're on YouTube live right now, but we got to start growing that audience over there, and everybody on here right now can help out. Go subscribe, like the videos. That helps. That helps with the algorithm on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
we need that. We need that exposure, man. Look, like a school teacher on OnlyFans. We need that type of exposure.
What up, Steve?
Man, you know what
we know everybody loves y'all live shows.
Who's Steve? What up, Steven?
We got to move on, and y'all still do the live shows and.
So listen, let's dive into a little bit of the conferences, where we think teams are gonna go in the off-season days. Let's start off with the AFC West, the Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers. You think?
I mean, we're gonna do like a quick synopsis.
Yeah, just a quick little thing. The team needs and stuff like that.
Man, I that division. I mean, Kansas City to me has got to go get receivers. I think most of that roster will be back. I mean, they'll re-sign Chris Jones. I mean, I think the Raiders are going to be like an intriguing team. I think Denver and the Raiders with their quarterback situation is going to be intriguing. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Ponte. I mean, Chargers, Harbaugh's walking into a nice situation there. They got some talent, but I mean, the Raiders and Denver have to go find or figure out who that quarterback is.
What do you think the Denver's going to do, Pancho, in that division?
Well,
with Sean
like
Payton?
that division in a whole is pretty young. As far as the Chargers, the Raiders, the coach-wise, fresh coach and new coaches, new blood, player coaches, coaches that can make an impact. Antonio Pierce being a big factor out there. So Jim Harbaugh, Mahomes is going to do his thing. Like you said, Kelsey's leaving, bro. Kelsey ain't retiring. I've been through that, dude. He's got way too much left and way too much on the table. Basically, Kansas City just needs to stay consistent and be smart and not spend the big dollar. They can't.
They got to get that thrifty wide receiver, not go.
Listen, I will say this, and I'm on record of saying it. I think if Kansas City can pull it off again next year and be the first team ever in NFL history to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, I think that GOAT discussion is over with.
I think so. I will say this. I want to make a point with Ponchos, and I agree, Richie. But I think I'll say this: is there a funner division in terms of coaches? I mean, look at the personalities. You got Andy Reid, who's put himself in all-time status. Sean Payton, who's freaking entertainment on wheels. Let's be real; he's one of the best ever too. You got Harbaugh coming in, who had success in college. You had some success in the pros. I mean, Saints fans, we know that back from those San Francisco days in the playoffs. But our other guy, Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce. You listen to him talk, man. That dude's got balls of steel. He's got a lot of confidence. I think he's got the Raiders going in a good direction. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, to me, those coaches are really intriguing in that division. That's probably the most interesting division of coaches.
Remember 2 years ago, this division was touted to be one of the strongest.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, you got Russell Wilson that just came over. You had Derek Carr that was supposed to do some big things in Raiderland over there. And Mahomes. So this was a stout division, and it's still the players are there, the coaches are there. let's see if they can put it back together.
I think the big move in all season in that division. I think the Broncos are going to move on away from Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot mess going on. Contractually, they're saying Russell might sue some kind of way or the other, so it can get nasty. But who knows? You know, that's the iffy team. That's the one there.
Let's move on to the let's move on to the blue collar division. Everybody calls it, man. To me, one of the toughest division, hard hitting divisions in the NFL is the AFC North with Baltimore Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. Man, that's a tough division right there.
Steelers got to get a quarterback, man. I mean, Burrow has to come back healthy. Steelers need a quarterback. I mean, Cleveland's got to figure out.
Dave, is this something that's going to hinder? I hate to say, is this something that's going to hinder Burrow's career? Just the injuries, man, just every year.
I mean, I hope not. They got to get this kid. They have to draft offensive line, man. I mean, they got a pretty solid defense. They got to figure something out with receiver.
But Dave, the injury that he had was a non-contact injury.
No, it was, but I mean, he's still been attacked, man. His first few years in the league. I mean, that offensive line's been pretty bad. They got to keep addressing that line until they figure it out. But I mean, other than that, I mean, his team's pretty secure. He's going to lose T. Higgins. You know, he might lose.
No, they said they're going to franchise tag him.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate that decision. I really do. I think you costing yourself. You need to go spend that money on the O-line. Get Joe Burrow protected. You can listen, man. If you go with Jamar Chase, that kid with the weird last name Iavasis or whatever his name is, I mean, dude, I think even keeping Tyler Boyd, I think you could win without T. Higgins. I really believe that. But I think you can't win if your quarterback's always getting hit.
Yeah. So at this point, if you're going to make any kind of run, you're going to have to keep T. Higgins on the team. Not that, you know, hopefully his production does come back to a certain extent to where you don't have to go spend draft picks at the wide receiver position. You can afford to draft it at the O-line. Keeping T. Higgins for a 1 year ride at, you know, top salary. I mean, what was it? Probably $16 million. You got Jamar Chase. You're still paying him you know, so Tyler Boyd's probably gonna be the odd man out if you can afford him. I mean, you almost have to run it back. You got the system there.
Well, listen, let's jump into another division. Somebody just made a comment.
But wait, did we even go to Baltimore though? Did we even talk Baltimore?
Yeah, I think Baltimore's set. I think they're gonna be who they are. I think it's.
I'm going to say this. Baltimore, to me, has to take the pressure off Lamar Jackson because he'll be the next Cam Newton if he keeps taking these hits, if he keeps having to be a 1,000-yard rusher to get his team to the playoffs. I mean, their defense is spectacular, but they do have some free agents. They're going to lose one of those safeties. That Matabuki Cat's a free agent. Patrick Queen's a free agent. I think the Saints would need to look at, and that's not no LSU homer shit because I'm not an LSU guy. But here's my thing, dude, with the Ravens. They've got to be the team to go get a running back. Gus Edwards is serviceable. He's a nice red zone guy, but you have to get a legit running back. Derrick Henry makes all the sense in the world on a 2-year deal to Baltimore. And I was
the rumor is Dallas is going to bring Derrick Henry in.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense too. But to me, if I'm Baltimore, I'm outbidding. If I can, I'm outbidding Dallas for Derrick Henry.
That's a good topic there, Dave. So let's dive into the NFC North with the Lions, Packers, Vikings, and Bears. Of course, the Bears have the #1 pick. Rumor is right now that they're gonna stick with. They're gonna. I don't know, man. I don't even know where to go with this, man. They so all over the place, Dave. Where do you think the Bears are gonna go with this pick, man?
I don't know, dude. I'm starting to hear a lot of whispers, man. I don't know how true it is. I mean, and this ain't no damn inside source. This is me looking at shit when I'm, got a free time here and there. But I've been hearing a lot about Fields going to New England, and New England turning around and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair him up with Fields because they're not giving up a first for Fields. Fields is probably going to be had for like a pair of seconds or some shit like that. You're not getting that top 5 pick for Fields. But they keep saying these people are really buying the Caleb Williams hype that he'll go 1, and they're talking about Fields going number 3. I mean, going to New England and New England drafting Harrison at 3. I mean, what do y'all think about that shit? I'm actually starting to believe it a little bit that it does make some sense. But I mean, I don't know what y'all think, man.
Go ahead, Banjo.
I mean, again, something has to happen. I mean, you can't stay put there. I mean, you can't keep Fields in draft QB. I mean, at this point, you're investing in Fields. I think you keep Fields and you turn that 1 into as many picks as you can. And just get
somebody let this Labrador out.
And just get better at every position you can. I mean, there's more than just a quarterback that needs to be done there, I think the smart thing that Chicago's going to do, and it's just my opinion,
I think it's a big sign with Kingsbury signing with Washington. I think Washington's going to move up into that number 1 pick, give up a few draft picks to Chicago, and I think they're going to take Caleb Williams. And I honestly believe that the Chicago Bears are going to take Harrison. That's just my opinion.
You know what, Richie? I'm going to say this, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but I mean, it could go a lot of different ways. But see, if I'm the Bears and I'm keeping Fields, I'm not – man, you got to get this – I mean, you do need a weapon with him. I still like offensive line or edge rusher. I think – I don't know, man. I think you could find – I like DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is good enough to be a number 1, and you could find another receiver to me in that second round or whatever. I just think you got to go get an impact offensive lineman, an impact D lineman. But, look, I'm going to say this. I know we all can debate it, but this is, to me, one of the most interesting number 1 picks. Because, I mean, look, we've had years where we knew it was Andrew Luck or Joe Burrow or whoever. And we've had years where, you know, I mean, even Bryce Young. I think a lot of people lean towards Bryce Young a little more than Stroud going into the draft. But to me, this is going to be such an interesting first overall pick with all the shit that could go down. You know what I mean? On draft night, it's going to be a fun pre-draft situation.
Listen, we got let's get a couple of these comments that are coming in. You know, everybody's talking about Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a phenomenal quarterback. I do. I'm sorry.
The question is, where does he go? You know, I mean, that's.
I think Jaden Daniels is the second quarterback taken in this draft.
A lot of people like Drake May, man.
Drake May, yeah.
Nope. Drake May's not that guy. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. Look, here's the thing about Jaden Daniels, and listen, dude, I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. I think he's gonna be a great NFL quarterback, but I don't know if anybody looks around and says, "Hey, man, you know, he's got 2 receivers that are likely top 20 picks." Does that help? You know, maybe does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get where I'm going there. Like, Tua back at Alabama had the great receivers. Everybody always likes to doubt the guy. I think even some people, as much as we knew Burrow was a top pick, you had some people that were doubting him because he had these great receivers. And it's not – the guy shouldn't be penalized for that, but I think you got some scouts that'll look at that, you know, to a certain degree, if that makes any sense. I mean, I love Daniels. I think Daniels is a top 5 pick without a doubt.
I mean, I think it's like Nola just put up too. Me personally, I do think Neighbors is a better receiver than Harrison.
I mean, look, dude, it's a good debate. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Poncho, what you think? I mean, I got them like coin flip level, but I mean, Harrison by name to me is probably going to go higher.
Steven, to look at the talent is one thing. All right. Sitting down and have a conversation with these guys is where it actually is at. And then we can judge talent, but until you sit down with Jamarcus Russell or Johnny Manziel and kind of get into their head, like you can play who's this and who's that. Your eyes might tell you one thing, but you know, the player, when he sits down, he's going to tell you how intelligent he is or he's not.
So you saying that's going to change the draft when they start talking to these guys?
That's always. Well,
I think when they're that close,
I don't care what you say. Caleb Williams is going number 1. I don't care what nobody says.
No, but I see what Poncho's saying with Neighbors and Harrison Jr. That's a good point because I mean,
but he's talking about, are you talking about the whole draft, Poncho, or are you just talking about them?
To me, I would say Harrison has the better pedigree. He knows what it takes to be a pro.
And
his dad was like, I agree with you, Poncho. His dad was
the second generation thing matters. Absolutely.
Only because I know that because he's been in the limelight. You know, get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know Neighbors' history. Maybe he has been in the limelight. I don't know. But I only can go for what, you know, we speaking of is Harrison, you know, usually your former players, they're
the thing with Neighbors is, Poncho and Dave, I don't know if y'all agree with me. If Neighbors don't go in the top 7, 8, I don't know where Neighbors is going to go.
Somebody will make the leap, but you know, but back to what Poncho was saying, here's the thing. This is what's so hard. Harrison will be the one because, like you said, the second generation factor. But you can't look at schools because both of the schools have produced excellent wide receivers over time. So I mean, in talent wise, like you're saying, it's 1 and 1A. But I mean, listen, dude, I think Neighbors is still going to go pretty high, man. I really do feel that way. I mean, I think he's going to go. You know, it's an interesting thing, man. Let's just say, and I'm not saying he'll go that route, but man, if he's sitting there, listen, he's not getting past Sean Payton in Denver. If Sean Payton can nab a quarterback some other way before the draft, he's drafting Malik Neighbors, man. I just think he needs to look at
you know Sean Payton don't draft LSU guys. Come on.
No, but I don't think that's. I mean, look. I mean, I don't think it's totally personal. I think people here got too wrapped up in it.
Dave, he never drafted an LSU player ever.
Look, here it is.
Look, I mean, he never drafted a player from UTEP either, Richie, or whatever.
I mean, but we're talking about LSU, the cream of the crop, though, Dave. Come on, they're not drafting.
LSU, look, I mean, there's better college programs than LSU in the Sean Payton era. I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're not. It's not like they're Alabama. I mean, Alabama was the.
Dave,
real.
you don't think
You
don't think it's a coincidence? He never had none of the draft picks Sean Payton had. Not one LSU player.
I don't.
Come on, man.
I don't put much stock into it. Richie, you're talking about 6,
They
7
drafted
players
Marcus
maybe every year.
Colston. They drafted, fourth, just D2
I
players.
get what you're saying, but you're talking about a head coach in Louisiana coaching the
Richie,
Louisiana
you think he has a personal vendetta against LSU?
I don't know what he had, but he didn't draft one.
He's gonna
I
like
don't know
Malik
what-
Neighbors in an orange and blue uniform.
I don't know what he has. Oh, he didn't have a problem drafting Ohio State players.
No, but Richie, look at the success rate. Jeez, I mean, come on. How many flops did he get?
So
Ohio
LSU
State?
didn't have success. So you're saying LSU didn't have a success rate? Really?
No, Richie, I'm talking about you said he drafted Ohio State players. Will Smith, Michael Thomas. I mean, come on, we can go on.
Wait,
Great
I
players.
got a question.
Oh my God. I can name several LSU players I would have took over Davenport. I can promise you that.
Over who?
Over Davenport.
You get into a different subject, Rich. You know, you're going into a different area.
Let's play devil. So when is the last time any coach from New Orleans drafted a LSU player first, second, or third?
What do you mean?
I can tell you, I got the answer to that.
Kennison? Who's that?
Devery Henderson with Jim Haslett. Yeah.
So that's how far you go back.
Don't
And
hear
here's the
you.
funny thing.
Don't hear
Here's
you.
the great thing about it. You know what the
That's in
beauty
the
about it?
80s and 90s, bro.
Okay.
Wait, and here's the beauty
The
of it.
LSU
Devery
has a
Henderson
football
didn't even
team
play
every
hardly as a
year.
rookie.
They have a team every year. Every year they got a team.
Dave, Pancho, you're not going to.
2 out of 25
I'm
years.
sorry.
2 out
LSU
of
was
25 years.
Sean Payton
What?
coached the New Orleans Saints for 16 years, dude. You're not going to sit and tell me he couldn't draft one player. I don't care what round.
What reason? I mean, look, Richie, it might have not been in the cards. I mean, what you going to do? Reach? Oh, well, hey, this LSU guy. He's like our 10th guy on the board, but we're up now to pick. Let's get him because.
Oh, Dave, I don't know. I don't think he had a vendetta. I don't know why he didn't. Is all.
No, I just think it was just the way the draft fell. I mean, does Bill Belichick draft Boston College players? I mean,
no, Belichick drafts Alabama players.
Mike Tomlin draft. I mean,
Belichick,
outside of Kenny Pickett,
in that time, Belichick drafted Alabama players and LSU players. Go look at it.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you have.
And they won 6 Super Bowls. And they won 6 Super Bowls with those players.
Listen, we drafted Hall of Famers. From Armstead to. I mean, it's a draft pick, dude. It's a player that played that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look, and when the Saints won a Super Bowl, I'm not counting the LSU players or fucking Tulane players on the team. I mean, I don't give a shit where they came from. We won a Super Bowl. I mean, I think some LSU fans get a little too ignorant when it comes to that, in my opinion. I think I've had to argue with friends of mine over like, oh, they don't draft LSU guys. They don't draft this guy. I mean, who gives a fuck? I mean, we're winning. Drew Brees is from fucking Purdue.
Richie, I'm going to throw this back to you real quick.
You know,
how many LSU players are on the Chiefs?
I don't think any right now.
2. No,
I don't think.
Gay and Hilaire. Now I'm asking.
Hilaire don't need to be on the roster.
Hilaire's not even a factor.
That's what I'm saying. So there you go.
Engage their best. Engage their best linebacker. So
there you go. One player on the whole team. One player in the whole team. That makes
they won the Super Bowl with one LSU guy.
That's it. One player.
No, and Richie, I'm not saying don't draft LSU players, but I don't put too much.
Oh, come on, guys. I think y'all being a little ridiculous now. Come on, man.
What?
LSU, I guarantee, has put the most.
No. Nobody's debating the talent to come out.
It ain't debatable. I think LSU might, other than Alabama, LSU's might put more talent in the NFL than any other college. Period.
I mean, look, that's a whole debate. That'd be a great pre-recorded show topic. I mean, if I had to say, I would say Ohio State, who you just mentioned, would be right up there.
I would put Ohio State in there too. I would put Ohio State, Alabama, LSU.
I mean, no, I'm not doubting the talent. I mean, if any LSU fans going crazy in the comments, I'm not saying don't draft LSU players. I'm just saying I don't really put much stock in it.
Nobody's going crazy in the comments, Dave, but I agree with you. It's like.
No, I just, it is what it is. I mean, look, Peyton didn't draft any LSU players. It's not the reason we didn't win a second Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit.
I just think but I agree with you. I agree with you there, you and Pancho, man. It was a big thing here. Whoa, Sean Payton never drafts LSU players. What is the deal?
That's what I'm saying. People whined and pissed and moaned about it. I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? Like,
then you got teams who drafted an LSU player number 1, and it's probably the biggest regret they ever had. So I mean,
you know what I find. You know what I found.
One of the biggest busts in history.
You know what I find. Teams get lucky. The teams that have already established a team, like they champions, and they can just basically draft best available. They always luck out with that.
And that's why he got called. He has a winning pedigree. He's always Shanahan.
Oh, stop! Come on, man. You and the Shanahan stuff.
Dude,
No, but Richie, how many coaches that dude's spawning already? I mean, we got one that's hopefully going to be a big factor for us for many years. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Kubiak.
Listen,
Robert
I'm not
Saleh,
saying I'm
you know
not
what I
saying
mean?
Shanahan's
D'Amico
not.
Ryans.
I'm not saying Shanahan's not a good coach, but me personally, I don't think he's a great coach. That's just my opinion. I think he's a great. I think he's a great. I think he's a great. I think he's a great offensive-minded coach. No doubt about that.
I mean, okay, I know we're doing divisions. I mean, if you had to name the top 5 coaches right now, I mean, we're excluding Belichick because he's not there. I mean, is Shanahan in the top 5? I mean, Andy Reid's obviously got to be one. Tomlin's got to be there.
Andy Reid.
Andy
Reid. I think I got Andy Reid and Tomlin number 1 and 2. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, that's right, and that's. But I'm saying, but like, who else would be ahead of Shanahan besides maybe McVay? I mean,
I'll put McVay. Believe it or not, I'll put McVay over Shanahan.
Oh no, I mean, I would too because he's got the Super Bowl ring, and I mean, I think McVay's a hell of a coach.
Would you, Pancho? I
don't think
Pancho would.
I'm gonna put it like this: so Shanahan's been a 2, McVay's been a 1. He's won it. Shanahan's been a 2, so not that he has won it, but I mean, if he makes it to a 3rd. I mean, is that good? Is that good as winning? I mean, morally,
it's a hard thing. I mean, it's the Dan Marino factor.
I don't know, Dave. Dave, now you got me thinking. I may have to put Shanahan. You may be right.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to name. I mean, Peyton would be the one guy I would consider. I mean, look, I know some people are going to rip Peyton on 1 year in Denver, but that team was a dumpster fuck. You know what I mean? I think Peyton still, to me, a top. You don't
want my opinion on Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton. I got
him in his top 5.
I agree. I have Sean Payton and Shanahan kind of in the same boat.
And that's to me, that's great coaches. I'd take either one of them over.
What I mean, Dave, what I mean by that, I think Sean Payton was much better play caller than when he was a head coach.
I think, look, dude. I mean, I wouldn't trade Sean Payton for nothing in the world those years we had. I think he might have. You know, was there a game in the playoffs? He might have.
And what I mean by head coach, Dave, and I don't know, Dave, what I mean by head coach, I don't know if you agree with me on this. Say like this: Sean Payton calls the plays on his team, correct? Kyle Shanahan is the play caller for his team. He's the head coach, correct?
Right.
What in the hell is Mike Tomlin?
Well,
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
he don't call plays on offense or defense.
He's the man. I mean, you know, he's the head coach.
He's the head coach.
Well, I mean, I think it's about leadership. You got guys you're delegating responsibilities to. You're managing the entire ship, but Dave, don't you think it's kind of an ego thing too? I mean, I don't know, maybe to an extent, but I mean, I don't have nothing against a guy that calls his own plays. I mean, if that's what works,
all right, take for instance this, Detroit. What is Campbell? He don't call plays on offense. He don't call plays on defense.
He's more of an organizer, a rah-rah guy. He's the head
coach. We remember what I mean by that is in the old days, a head coach was a head coach. A head coach had an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't lose any sleep over it. I see what you're saying. I mean, it's a good topic for like a show, but I mean, it could go either way. I'm not mad at it.
Steven Lucius said he don't consider Andy Reid a great coach. Are you kidding me? Are you really?
I gotta say, yeah, on great coach, man. I think he's one of the top 10 of all time. You know what I mean?
I got a question. So, what was the coach? Remember, there was a play where the defensive backs were all like standing on like 10 yards, and the coach called the timeout so the defensive coach can recall the play. Was that?
I remember something with that. Yeah.
Remember he didn't like the defense. He said call a different defense.
Yeah.
What game was that? That was one of his most recent games.
I remember, but I can't think of who.
Remember, it may come to me at some point. Backs, they were all like in one line, 10 yards deep, and they were gonna do. I don't know.
That was Belichick. That was Belichick.
No, man, this is recent. The last game or two, man.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about when Belichick had 6 defensive backs.
I will say this one thing we haven't brought up, y'all, is to me who coached a fucking spectacular game to me was Spagnuolo. I thought his timing of shit was really.
And he just signed an extension. He just signed an extension. He said he never wants to be a head coach again. That's what he said.
But and Spagnuolo did a fucking amazing job. I mean, I'll say this to me more than Sean Payton losing big games in the playoffs. I have to blame, and I'm not trying to give him. I was totally pissed with Sean Payton not using Taysom Hill enough in that Vikings game. But I will say this: that Minnesota Miracle shit. There's no way that should have happened. All right, I don't blame Marcus Williams at all. I blame our defensive coordinator there. The 49ers game, Vernon Davis going up against Malcolm Jenkins and Roman Harper instead of double teaming him. He was single covered by safeties in that game, and he was their best offensive player by far. Like, so to me, our defensive coordinators, to me, have dropped the ball more in big games than Sean Payton.
Yeah, even like the big call was against the 49ers and Vernon Davis. It was,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How you let the one guy beat you who you couldn't let beat you, and you single cover him? Like, that dude should have had a corner and a safety bracketing him. You forced Michael Crabtree or somebody to beat you on that team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
let's dive into a little Pels right quick, Dave. While we got to before we get out of here.
Yeah, we're about to head out.
What you liking right now?
Man, I'll say this, man. The thing that's really intriguing to me is the health. I mean, right now, other than Dyson Daniels having a little bit of a knee issue, Zion looks very good right now. But I'll say one thing that's standing out about Zion to me is his defense seems to be getting better. It's like he's got a highlight block shot every game. It's not so much a dunk or I'm seeing defensive highlights from Zion.
His assist is up too.
He's a really good I mean, here's the thing about Zion. I don't think he even scratched the surface on. I think he's going to even get better as a passer. And if you watch this guy play, I mean, I know Pancho. I've been to one game. Pancho goes to a lot more games than me. But I mean, you watch this guy in warm-ups. I mean, and he does it occasionally in games. He can hit a mid-range shot, and he can hit a three. The guy's got a really pretty release shooting the basketball for a guy his size and with his ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nola said he's getting in better shape every week. He is. He's getting.
Yeah, he is, man. I mean, and the dude took a lot of shit, and we were all giving him shit. And so, I mean, I'm going to call it like I see it now. Look, the dude is really turning his shit up. And, I mean, BI's BI. I really like the effort all around his team. But Jose Alvarado, these last couple of games, has been a big spark off the bench with Najee Marshall.
Listen, they're supposed to be doing an interview with him soon of the turning point of this year. And there's rumors that Drew Brees had a lot to do with that, the maturity factor of his career right now.
I mean, if he did, that's great, man. I mean, I don't know, Pancho. I mean, I know, Pancho, you watch the games the way I do too. I mean, I know, Richie, you're a big basketball fan, but I mean, Pancho, sometimes you do see a little something different at the arena. I will say that. I mean, you can see things develop a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you seeing anybody standing out different to you? I mean, is it?
Yeah, I mean, what you see is a lot of sharing is caring type deal with the team. It's a lot of as Zion. Once he does practice his threes, and his free throws have gotten better also.
Yeah.
But as far as his three, once he gets that, if he can get one or two a game, and dude, that makes him so much more dangerous as a 3-point threat. He does, it's there. He's always been there. But when you got Trey and Herb and BI and CJ, you don't want Zion necessarily taking three.
Yeah.
When you got guys,
I think what's gonna hurt the Pelicans in the West is not having. I like Valanciunas, but he's just not. I don't know. Sometimes he just bothers me, man.
Valanciunas to me, he is
defensively sometimes.
He is an awesome matchup against a lot of guys. He's dominant against a lot of teams, and some teams.
But I think Willie Green puts him in the wrong position sometimes.
No, you don't want. You have guys. He needs to be a facilitator, so he needs to be out there. You need to get their big guy out of the hole. So you got Zion.
Agreed. Yes.
Against their other guy. So you don't want.
Sometimes the X factor to me too, Pancho. The X factor to me in a lot of these matchups against these quicker centers is Larry Nance Jr. Like Larry Nance, look, his numbers don't pop out at you, but what he does over the course of a game, he does a lot of small things that help you win games. And I mean, and he's more of the better defensive matchup against these more athletic centers. Man,
I tell you what, who's having a surprising season is Kuminga for the Golden State Warriors. Man, that kid is tearing it up right now.
This is my finished outlook on the Pels. So to me, when the Pels realized they need to grow some big balls and be more aggressive and play a little bit more bump and run and be in the face and show their size, because to me
they have length. They have a ton of length. Absolutely.
A lot of length.
The Lakers, LeBron and AD, they show their grit. They show their will. And I think the Pels need to find that killer instinct, the finishing, move. They just to figure out. And each player needs to step up. We got a lot of passive guys. You see Trey starting to come into his own. Trey's starting to get a little attitude with him. Herb has got his defense. Just more attitude to me.
I think Herb to me is one of those guys that's I'm not gonna lie. I look at the up and down the roster. He feels to me like he's the most playoff ready of anybody. I don't know why I just feel that way about Herb Jones, but he's one of the younger guys. But he just looks like he's so ready. Like nothing gets too big for him. He looks like he's consistently in the same mindset. If that makes any sense. Like sometimes you might see a guy be passive, like Pancho was saying, or a guy not, maybe turning it up enough. But Herb to me always seems like he's going at the same speed. You know what I mean?
Nola said we need someone to defend against Jokic. I don't think there's anybody.
I was when we talking about these centers, that shit was going through my mind, and that's what scares me. Like, and Willie, look, a lot of this, and I'm not saying Willie's a bad coach.
There's nobody in the league that can defend him.
Well, no, but Willie has to go. Like, here's my thing: Willie has to grow to that next level as a coach. Like Pancho's saying about us getting that next physicality level and that next killer instinct. I think a lot of that has to come through Willie. And I'm not criticizing Willie, but I think he's still a young coach. You know what I mean? He's only been around a few years now. So I mean, I think Willie has to graduate to that next level too. But
Dave,
to me, this team needs to figure out a fourth quarter dynamic. They have to know who the ball is going through. It should be everything through BI and Zion in the fourth quarter, and everybody else is feeding off of that.
Correct.
There's too many fourth quarters where I'm seeing McCollum, and no offense to McCollum, but I see him taking too many shots.
The Pelicans right now have the Pelicans, and Dave, I think you agree with me because you just said it. The Pelicans have no identity in closing games right now. None.
I mean, dude, if you look at this team, if they could have closed out some of these fourth quarter games earlier in the season, they would be one of the top 2 seeds in the West right now. If they didn't blow some of these fourth quarter leads.
I mean, not even that. Like, we going into halftime with 18, 20-point leads.
Well, this last game,
A couple of them. That's not the only one.
No, it's happened. Like you said, it has happened.
I mean, we go up by 20. Again, the team, you go up by 20 by halftime or 18 by halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, you got people, shots to be hitting, but the problem, you got to come out with that same third quarter, you know.
Yeah. And look at the team we just did that against. They were, a single-digit win team? I mean, Washington's got 8 or 9 wins. I mean, they were without one of their best players, Kyle Kuzma, and you still allowed us, like you said, I think we were up almost 23, 25, whatever it was. And I mean, that Abdiha guy, whatever, the dude from Israel, he started going nuts, man. But I mean, overall, though, you can't let that shit happen. You got to keep that pedal down and make that game a laugher instead of making it a game where they had to lead, I think, in the fourth quarter at one point.
This is my final thought, guys.
Go ahead.
If you got an empty moment or empty time, man, watch some Pels game. Again, it's not for everybody. You got some old heads that just don't like basketball.
Yep.
But man, the team that's out there, dude, it's inspiring. You see who everybody's got, individually they got identity, and everyone is putting forth a lot of effort. They want to win. They're trying to learn how to win
get behind
together.
the team, man. Get behind our team.
Like Ponch is making a good point there because these are to me, we've had some likable guys in the past. We love those CP3 teams. We love Drew Holiday being here. But this group as a whole, this is a very young team. Like you said, these guys have each other's backs. There's no problem guys in this locker room. These guys go to war for each other, but they're, like you said, they're great personality guys. They play with a ton of energy.
And they love this city. And they love this city,
and
man.
They do. They are very outspoken. I mean, Brandon Ingram's been doing it for years, talking about how he hated LA, how New Orleans is much more of a perfect fit, the size of the city. I mean, Zion loves the city, I mean, everybody, I think it's there, man. This is a great group of guys, the coaching staff, the players. Like, this is, I really feel this is the best group that we've had, in my opinion. This is the best team that the Pels have had.
Well, listen, guys, y'all remember we're gonna be doing some live shows once a month now that football season's over with. We're also gonna be doing a recorded show that we're gonna share once a week. Make sure you share and like our YouTube channels. We're on Twitter, Spotify, we're on Instagram, we're on all the major platforms. Please sure to like it. And I really want to thank everybody all year long for this football season with your comments, your thoughts, sharing our page. We're only going to grow as far as y'all take us with y'all. Y'all part of it. As we grow, y'all grow. Seriously.
One last thing, guys. Pencil us in for a draft day event. Hopefully. We're in the works. Nothing's promised right now, but if you ain't doing nothing on draft day and we got the event, man, come out and we're gonna put on a show if we get the venue to sign up.
Yep. And there's the link Fanny just
my
shared.
closing thing's going to be, look, we're going to talk some basketball with the Pels, but listen, man, we got some baseball, we got wrestling, and dude, we still going to talk football. This is the next 6 months could shape the future for the Saints. I mean, a lot of free agent stuff's going to be happening soon. The draft prep. I mean, we're going to talk some fantasy football, so there's going to be always shit to talk about.
Man, listen, I'm being honest with you, man. When we first started this show 20-something weeks ago, I never thought we'd still be here.
Oh, shit. Let's do it, man. Hey, look. Hey. Look.
Oh, man.
Listen, as long as somebody's willing to listen to what I have to say or what we have to say, you know, I'm willing to listen to what they have to say. So
exactly. Well said. All right, gentlemen. Good night. We'll see y'all soon. Take care, guys.
All right, players.
Please subscribe to the channel.
Yes, sir.